Alright lads, welcome to the channel. If you are new here, we do a lot of things in regards to Dauntless. We give you builds. We give you builds. We give you builds. Oh, and we give you guides and builds. Guides and builds. So if you are new to the channel, feel free to click on that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So yes, feel free. I do try to post as much as I possibly can. I do focus my content normally around trials, but recently I've been branching out. So feel free to gander the rest of my channel. But today we've got a build which is for the newcomer, the newbie of the games, the people who are just coming over and just branching their horizons to Dauntless. And it can be quite daunting, as you say. There's a lot of things to take in. So I've got you a build here which can actually get you through the whole game to end game. It is a meta noob build. That's what I'm going to call it, a meta noob build. This, I'm not even joking, this will carry you right through to end game, with some tweaks obviously on the way. But obviously I understand your perk summary won't be exactly the same, but if you do follow this exact framework, you will have a very potent build for the early game to mid game, and yes, it will get you through right to your trials. Obviously this build is targeted towards obviously as a new player. For people who haven't ever done trials, not getting carried, so you haven't unlocked the discipline cell, the wild frenzies, all of the meta cells, if you will. So this build can be changed to any Hellier weapon you wish, but I am concentrating on chain blades, the hammer, and the strikers because they are the best for DPS in my opinion. So without further ado, the build looks like this. Also, before I carry on with the actual perk summary and etc. Here, I want to explain one thing. Obviously, you are new to the game, so I'll probably will just explain this to you real quick. Every single weapon, or 99% of weapons, have a unique effect and a plus perk ability. So in this instance, the unique effect is the 11th hit in the row deals 225 damage plus a major blaze damage. So this is a really good unique effect. It does bonus damage on top of the damage you're already dealing. This is why it's one of the best meta weapons or meta weapon versions. So all Hellier weapons have the same unique effect, and that's why they are considered one of the best. Also, along with its power cell slots, it is considered one of the best for damage and DPS. And that's not all. The actual plus perk ability is +3 overpower, which is included in most meta builds. What overpower does, it allows the user to gain damage based on the scaling versus Stagger Behemoth, but not also just Stagger Behemoth. You also get the overpower proc when you break Behemoth Parked and when you boop Behemoth, or aka interrupt a Behemoth. So another thing to include in this, for this to be +3, you need your weapon to be above +10. If your weapon ranges between level 6 to a +9, this cell will be a +2. Anything below +6, this cell will be a +1. So just bear that in mind. I understand your weapons probably won't be the highest right now. It will probably range between the 4 to 7 mark. So your overpower will go from 1 to 2, and eventually it will go to a +3 when you get the actual weapon to +10. Hopefully that makes sense. There's tons of guides out there to look you in terms of weapons and how weapons scale, but this is just my little abbreviation for you guys. But the build carries on like this. We got nice 2 power cell slots. We've put a +3 overpower cell and a +3 rage hunter. With chain blades, I recommend Reaper Stance and serrated blades. That's my opinion. You can lock these as you use chain blades more often. If you're using these strikers, I recommend going with the Titus Crush and the Cyclonic Strike Plate. And for the hammer, I recommend you go with the Mighty Landbreaker, and finally, when you finally upgrade the hammer, get the extended clip. But to be fair, it doesn't really matter. Use whatever you have. Probably Impulse Crown or the Weighted Crown will suffice too. So let's go back to the chain blades. You put the +3 overpower and the +3 rage hunter in there. Reaper Stance, serrated blades. We then got the Drask helmet, which is really easy to obtain. It gives you a +3 UFA attainment at +10. Obviously, the higher you upgrade it, the better. Then we got +3 sharpened. Then we got the Nasher cloak with tough. So that's +6 tough when you finally get the +3 cell of tough and the +10 of the chest piece. Then we got the Nasher arms. When this is obviously +10, you get the rage hunter +3. Then we put another sharpened cell in there. Finally, we've got the Carabac legs, which give you a nice conditioning boost. When the higher you get it, obviously, the more conditioning and the more stamina you will have. And obviously, and then we finally put Knockout King in there. I recommend using the Embermane's Lantern because all like lower class builds, like new builds, as you want to say, will be quite slow because you can't use Wild Frenzy, which is paired up with Discipline. Long story short, that gives you more attack speed. So we got to make ways for that. So I recommend Embermane's Lantern at this level, but Drask and Panga are two very good options if you don't mind a slow attack speed. Obviously, then we attach the Uther Attainment as well. So the more Uther Attainment you get means the more usage of your taps and your holds you get. So that's obviously good as well. We're not talking about tonics today. They're just there because that's what was in my last build. Don't worry about tonics. We're not going to be going into that. So the runs you're going to see are purely non-tonic based. So the newcomer can save their materials for whatever they wish. But if you want to use materials and want to use potions, feel free to use the Blitz, the Frenzy, and if you can unlock the Granny's Heartbreaker near end game, feel free to use that. But there is only 47 days left, so this is why we're not going into tonics right now. The perk summary looks like this. +6 of Uther Attainment, Overpower, Rage Hunter, Sharpened, and Tough. Then we got +3 Conditioning and +3 Knockout King. I understand that your build probably won't be exactly the same because obviously you're lower level, your stuff won't be upgraded as high, etc. Your cells won't be upgraded, etc., etc. I understand. But this is a good framework, as I already mentioned. Just follow it. When you do eventually get this particular build, I will show you the outcome and a couple of runs with 3 behemoth kills in just a moment. All those behemoth kills are heroic versions, just to let you guys know, just so you obviously know that it can kill the higher ranks as well. But bearing in mind, I have all the power boosts of escalations, etc. So this is probably the best this build can be without potions. So just bear that in mind. So the numbers will vary from yours to mine. The reason why this build works so well when you are a lower rank is because one, it's really easy to obtain because obviously Drask really easy to kill. You're access to that really early. Nasha, once again, another easy thing to obtain, and obviously Carabac, they are so easy to obtain. The only hard thing you will have trouble with is actually crafting the weapon, which obviously comes with Hellion, but that comes pretty early on in the storyline as well. Embermane's Lantern, I'm pretty sure you get that early on as well. Everything's really accessible really early on in the game, but the main thing is the cells. This whole build rolls around Overpower and proccing it as much as possible. So if there is a cell you want to upgrade to the max on this build before anything else, that will be the Overpower. Focus on upgrading your weapon as much as possible before the armor, if for this particular build, if you are trying to run it, and try and make sure you have that +3 Overpower cell. The reason for this, I will explain. So, Overpower, let's have a little look what it actually does properly. +60 damage versus Staggered Behemoths at full capacity. Staggered doesn't just mean when you knock him out via a stun to the head. It also means when you part break him or when you boop him. This means obviously when he's interrupted or in a vulnerable state, you deal this bonus damage. You know when you're in an overpower state because he goes flaming red. I will show you in a moment in the 3 runs. But the reason why this is so good is because it pairs up with Rage Hunter as well as Sharpened. Rage Hunter obviously deals more damage when he's in rage state, quite self-explanatory. Sharpen +6. When you hit it, obviously +30 part damage, and when you dodge through an attack at your next attack deals 100 part damage. So it rewards the user to actually dodge and then obviously deal more part damage. When you break apart, you get into overpower state. If it's enraged and you break apart, you go into overpower state with even more damage. If you knock him out and he's enraged and you break apart, you're going to keep prolonging the overpower state. It's the whole point of the build. Get it in overpower, deal more damage. That paired up with Uther Attainment with the Lantern Charge from the attacks. Absolutely great starter build. What else can you need? This is all you need to get through endgame. I hope this really does help you guys out. I will leave the build in the link in the description below. I'll try to give you the best explanation as possible to why this build is really good. Obviously, there's +6 tough. A lot of you guys out there will be like, why don't you use Iceborne? Well, actually, you guys know I don't like Iceborne. And 2, it means you've got to beat Boris. Yes, Boris is quite easy. Yes, he comes at a lower rank. But that means you would be able to get the Sharpen +6 in there, the Rage Hunter +6, and the Knockout King. So I think this actually deals overall more damage. Also, it teaches you good habits, meaning You don't rely on Iceborne, and also Iceborne only triggers when you're below 50% HP, and we're not focusing on a disciplined build today. So that's why there's no Iceborne in this build, for all you haters out there. But yeah, thank you very much for listening to me blabber on about this one build. I'm now going to pass you through to the run. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Also, if you are struggling, just quickly, blabber on some more. If you are struggling to find some power cells, feel free to go to the Middleman. He always does 2 power cells each week. That'd be Rage Hunter, Overpower, etc. I'm pretty sure it's 2 a week. So I also sells a defense cell, so even Tough might be in there. So make sure you are checking these out every single week as well if you are trying to fill in the gaps of the build and the cell slots. But yeah, I'll put you through to the run now and I'll show you how decent it is. Thank you very much for watching. So when you are fighting Scrave, you can actually bait a boot for him or bait interrupt. All you've got to do is stand far away and make him throw his icicles at you. After this, he will stand on his back 2 legs. Keep standing away from him and he will give you the boop animation. All you have to do is do the corresponding boop combo. With this, you can just dash with the chain blades and light attack. I then concentrate on the best combo with the chain blades, which is the light heavy. I continuously spam this for as much as possible. We're focusing on a part break and a stagger. As you can see right now, Scrave's about to be staggered. When I do eventually get the stagger on him, which I believe is now. Oh no, he's got a part break there, so the overpower is procced already. As you can see, the flaming fire on him, that's an overpower proc. And now we're trying to prolong this as much as possible by breaking his beak. He's now in rage, so you're getting the bonus from the Rage Hunter. And now we are trying to break another part to get more overpower damage. Not the greatest part of focus from me, but I do land the heavy Reaper's Dance on him. That Tough coming in really handy. We finally get a break and we get another overpower state. We were just about to get another overpower state from the stagger, but it doesn't matter, he dies eventually. Moving on to the strikers, the exact same build, just with strikers. We are fighting a Rage Tail Nasher this time, and heroic version, as I already mentioned. You can bait out Nasher, but I decided not to. So I started working on my Tempest Form and my Karma Breakers. Just landing the Karma Breaker there. We dodge his tail swipe, and we are ready for our first clap. He's now about to stagger. He would have staggered earlier if I landed the clap actually on the head, but it doesn't matter. Get a stagger on him, and we continuously target the face by also bringing up the Tempest Form and a Calm Breaker once again to provide maximum damage. The face breaks, so we get another overpower state. We then break the leg. We then break the arm, so we get an even more overpower state. I was trying to break the other side, but obviously there's not enough damage. And then finally, it did actually break somehow. So we get another prolonged state. And he's still trying to go in rage, the poor guy. But yeah, so we've broken 4 pieces of him already. And he's about to go in rage, which is really nice. And we're trying to work on the other side, but it doesn't matter. Rage Tail Nasher is finally dead. Last but not least, we've got Heroic Quill Shot, and we just get a buff with a hammer real quickly, and we just focused ahead. Obviously, the Knockout King comes in clutch with the hammer to get an early stagger on him. We started empowering some of the hits. We actually missed the Ether Slam, but it doesn't matter. We keep targeting ahead for the face break. We're getting there the overpower proc already, which is really nice. We get the face break, so even another overpower proc. I let him hit me with the rage, so the quills don't hit me, which is a really nice trick with Quill Shot, by the way. We break the head before the interrupt, getting another overpower state. The rest of the fight isn't exactly pretty. He starts doing really random things, but we are just still focusing ahead as much as possible, even though we have broken it to go for another stagger. As you can see, another stagger marks are coming, and we get the second stagger. Thank you, GG, for the knockout king. We're trying to break that arm just to get another overpower state, but it didn't happen. And that wraps up the core shot. Hopefully this guide, build, explanation video helps you, and hopefully you guys try it out. If you do use it, make sure you do comment below how it works for you, and thank you very much.